God doesn't always respond loudly, and honestly, that can be frustrating. Because if you're anything like me, you expect clarity to feel obvious. You expect God to move in a way that's undeniable. A door opening, a situation changing, something external that confirms you're on the right path. That's what I expected. I thought if God was really working in my life, it would be visible. It would be clear, immediate, unmistakable. But instead, everything got quiet. And that quiet felt confusing. Because when you've been used to momentum, when you've been used to progress, silence can feel like something is wrong. You start asking, did I miss it? Did I do something wrong? Is God even listening? And in that space, it's easy to start searching for something louder, something that feels more certain. But what I didn't understand at the time is this. God doesn't always speak in ways that grab your attention. Sometimes he speaks in ways that requires it. And there is a difference. Because loud moments don't require intimacy. Anyone can notice something loud. But quiet requires you to slow down. It requires you to sit still and pay attention, to actually be present. And that was hard for me. Because I was used to moving, producing, trying to figure everything out. So when everything slowed down, I didn't know how to process it. I thought silence meant nothing was happening. But looking back, that's not what it was. Things were happening, just not externally. God wasn't immediately changing my situation. He was actually changing me. And that kind of transformation usually happens quietly. It shows up in the way your thinking starts to shift, the way your priorities begin to realign, the way certain things stop feeling right anymore, the way you start noticing things you used to ignore. None of that feels dramatic in the moment, but it's real, and it lasts. There's a moment in Scripture where Elijah is waiting to hear from God. A powerful wind comes, then an earthquake, then fire. But God wasn't in any of those. He was actually in the whisper. And I used to focus on the dramatic parts of that story because that's how I thought God would speak. But now I see it differently. The dramatic moments might get your attention, but the whisper, it changes you. Because the whisper requires closeness. It requires you to lean in, to slow down, and to actually listen. And that's where transformation really starts. Not when everything around you changes, but when something inside you does. So, if you're in a season where things feel quiet, don't automatically assume God isn't speaking. It might just mean he's speaking in a way that requires you to come a little closer. Because God doesn't always respond loudly. Sometimes he speaks in ways that don't demand your attention, but instead invite it. And if you lean in, you may realize he's been speaking the whole time.
Go back the way you came.